Hi, I'm Rick Wilson. I'm the director of the International Human Rights Law Clinic, a clinic that I started over 20 years ago. And I want to talk a little bit about the work that we do on cases and how we're going to be organizing the clinic during the 2012-13 academic year. About 3 weeks ago, I went to court in Arlington with two students who had met their client for the first time last fall. Their client was a young woman from Ethiopia who had gotten herself into a good deal of difficulty because of her family's activism in opposition to the government in power there. A fairly typical kind of asylum case for us. For these two students, though, it was their very first case, and a case that they, like our students have throughout our history, poured their hearts into in preparing this woman for the ordeal of going to court and having to testify and retell a story about terrible mistreatment, about surviving to get herself to the United States, about the pain of leaving behind her family, and about the hope that she would reunite one day with her family here or in Ethiopia. They did a marvelous job in preparing this case, and the day that we went to court, they brought an interpreter who spoke Amharic. They brought an expert who had treated and counseled this young woman through the trauma of her experience to deal with that and cope with and survive the trauma, and an expert on country conditions in Ethiopia all of whom came to court and sat with me in the gallery watching these two students put on their case. And the attorney for the government did her job very well, closely questioned the client, and at the end of it all, at about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, the judge announced his decision right there on the spot and granted this woman asylum. It was a tear-filled room, I can tell you. It was, as has been my common experience in that moment, the very reason that I teach and the very reason that I think students find the Human Rights Clinic so engaging. This opportunity for working one-on-one, or in this case two-on-one, a student team, preparing someone to testify and to tell their story in a powerful and often empowering way. And I think that was true for this woman. This woman does not read or write, and yet now, even after this hearing, the two students have helped her enroll in English classes, get herself a job, which she is eligible for now that she has asylum, and begin to reorient herself to life in the United States. That's a great example of the cases that we work on in the asylum arena. The clinic is set up in a way that offers both a seminar and casework, in the casework that I've described, and a course that's typical for all of the clinics called the lawyering process, where we teach the skills, the ethics, and the values of being a lawyer in relationship with a client in a seminar context using a simulation as the tool to practice the skills that you will actually use with real clients in both the clinical context and after graduation. And I think the evidence from our alums is that skills, those values, those ethics that they study so closely in a limited number of cases in the clinic stand them in strong stead when they go into law practice after graduation. Each spring we have a group of alums come back to talk to the students who are in the clinic, some who are recent graduates and some who have now been out for 15 or 17 or 18 years in practice, who talk about how the clinic helped them to orient themselves to practice, how the clinic helped them get jobs, and how they've been able to kind of sustain their practices using the same kinds of principles and theories that they learn in clinic. So clinic is a wonderful opportunity. I encourage you to apply. I'm happy to answer more questions about it. We'll have some small group sessions after the general clinical meeting, and we invite you to make an application. If you are a second year or third year student, you are eligible to apply to the clinic, and we encourage you to do so. Thanks.